With the removal of Daredevil's Sky Coaster, the potential removal of Mardi Gras Hangover, and all of this rock work going on around Demon, could Six Flags Great America be gearing up to remove one of its first coasters at the park? One of the ones that opened with the park, a classic Arrow. Or will they be going the other way, like with Loch Ness at Busch Gardens, and restoring it to its old glory? We're going to get into that today, guys. We're going to break it down a little bit logically why each reason makes sense. We're going to talk about some of the rumors and, say our farewell to the Daredevil Sky Coaster and Mardi Gras Hangover here at Six Flags Great America. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining us here at Ghoster Coasters. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. The first rumor that we have to break down is Revolution. Will this be getting removed or not? It has been teased in the ride graveyard here, so my essential guess here is that it's probably going to go, because why would they have two disc rides at the same park? It's another one. It's a Huss Discovery, or not a Discovery, but a Huss Disc, if I remember correctly. So having two of them essentially next to each other doesn't make sense.
Nope.
So that looks like 4 rides essentially go for a Giga Discovery coming next year, and we'll see what could be coming. This is, of course, if Demon gets removed, which we're going to get into a little bit later in this video, why it doesn't make sense. But with all of these rides being removed or rumored to, it looks like there's going to be a lot of room for expansion at this park. And that's something else we've heard, is they may actually change that area over there near American Eagle and try to actually make a real ride queue there, versus having to walk all the way from that entrance all the way down into, as if anyone's done that walk before, it's actually farther than the Bats walk. So if you walk back to the Bat at Kings Island, just imagine the same thing. It said, hold my beer. And shout out to Surveillance for that one, but it's a long walk back. So there's rumors that they may be redoing that whole area too, and that's cool. That would actually make a ton of sense, especially for, with the removals of everything and whatnot.
Right.
But I'm kind of hoping that they stick to the Arrow legacy, try to restore it. But we're going to get into that here in a little bit. Let's move on to the next rumors.
Could Six Flags be getting a new coaster edition by 2025? Well, Salim Bazoul said that they are going to invest $250 million throughout the parks. Ooh, I wonder.
That's an interesting take here. Does that mean a removal? Does that mean they just add something to the park? I've heard lots of rumors there, and with the direction that they're going, they're adding a Giga Discovery, which is going to be phenomenal. We rode the one at Great Adventure. Great ride. So Six Flags Great Adventure is nailing it. I got a pass for there next year, so that actually excites me a lot, because this is another ride I can ride there. My mom's going to get there for the first time next year as well, and see, this park is like 1 or 2 coasters away from arguing having one of the best lineups. It has a really tall wooden coaster. The drop on the wooden coaster is like 140 feet, Mom. It's like the whole park is great. Goliath, Raging Bull, you got a wing coaster, which, we'll get into that another time, but they've got tons of rides. They got a flying coaster, which I rode, and, you got to do it once. It's one of the better ones. They got a Batman ride there. They got Demon, which I'm kind of hoping they keep, because that lineup is phenomenal, and adding a coaster to it would be better than removing something.
And I'd like to try it out first, too.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to ride it while I was there, because it wasn't open. It was being, they had a maintenance sign or closed for something, and, whatever. But I guess it hasn't been running for quite some time now, and that's interesting. Biff from Coaster Heat says, get rid of the ride. It's awful. Surveillance said it is what it is. So let's get into the next part of this. Do you think that it would be smart for Six Flags to, say, invest in preserving the coaster history of the Arrow, or moving on from it? Because I would guess the operating costs aren't high, but the ride's not as prestigious as something as like Busch Gardens has in Loch Ness. So would it make sense to do that, or do you think that they would opt to actually remove it with the rock work they're doing right now and it looking like they're tearing stuff out?
I personally think they're going to remove it.
It's kind of feeling like a removal, but just to play devil's advocate on that, preserving it would go a long way, because I think preservation of history is a good thing anyways. Arrow does not exist anymore. They're a defunct coaster manufacturer, so preserving that is always something that should be looked at in a highlight. But the ride itself is where the question begins to, you have to beg the question, is this worth actually saving? I don't know because I haven't ridden it, but the layout, it doesn't inspire. It'd be like spending a whole lot of money to preserve like Corkscrew at Cedar Point, which, again, I understand why you would, but it's just not necessary. There's better rides out there now and stuff, and
I agree. Even though Corkscrew is a nostalgic coaster for me.
and that one has a history point, so I could,
But-
bad example, but
To be honest with you, I don't think I would be really sad to see Corkscrew go.
I don't think a lot of people would either, especially if they kept the corkscrews over the midway. But with Demon, the issue is it opened with the park, so a lot of people are raising concerns with the fact that they're getting rid of a day one coaster from the park, and I understand that as well because that's something that it'd be like if Cedar Point.
You can't get that back.
If Cedar Point destroys Blue Streak, I'd be pretty upset, even though
Yes.
it didn't even matter to me in 1964. I wasn't around.
Right.
But and you said they wouldn't remove it. I could see them doing it. They've removed the Switchback Railway. They've removed their oldest coasters. So like, I can see it happening in other parks, of course, guys. That's bound to happen at some point. You're never gonna have your first ride ever, for the most part. I mean, unless you're Kennywood with the kangaroo and stuff. But there's tons of it. But preserving it kind of looks like it's not an option to me. So that leaves the question, why the sudden removal? Why being quiet? And are they actually going to be removing it? So what do you think about that? You think they're actually removing it?
I think they're going to remove it. I really do.
And when you look at the Google Maps, I mean, it doesn't take up a huge plot, but the area itself has a lot around it. They could do something pretty unique over there, and then Max Forest just looming in the... I mean, they got options. They do. That park would be awesome. I'm not advocating for removing rides. This whole removing rides thing to build new things when you have plenty of space to do it, I don't understand that, and I never will. I get revitalizing areas or revamping areas and bringing life back to areas of the park that doesn't bring the foot, traffic through. But
Right.
for me, preserving it would be a better option, especially you don't even have to spend that much or do a big thing like they're doing with Busch Gardens and Loch Ness. You don't have to just tell everyone, hey, we're going to do some maintenance work. We're going to, get some new fabrications for whatever, for the supports, for the track, and that's it. We're going to spend a couple, million here, and that's it. Not a whole bunch. And that would be fine. You don't have to do a big celebration. Keeping your coaster and then using your other space in the park. But it seems as though they're going to remove it. They've removed the rock work, which was an intricate detail of the ride. I don't know if you've seen the pictures on Twitter going around, but it's
Yeah,
like,
I've seen some.
why? I get why you would have to do it because there is pieces involved there that you may have to inspect or even, place new fabrications for. So
Exactly.
they could theoretically just be doing some maintenance work and, hey, we had to destroy this. Sorry, guys, we'll work on this at another time. I don't know. The area itself was cool when I walked through it, though. So Six Flags going the route of getting rid of it. It seems like that's where they're going, but I'm not 100% on board with that. Let us know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Do you think they should preserve the legacy of some of the older Arrow rides, or do you think it's time to kind of just let them fade off into obscurity? There's still plenty of them throughout the states and other parks that are willing to, obviously Busch Gardens. Let us know down in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like this video. Of course, we love having these conversations with you because it's interesting when you start to break down why or why not for removing things or what parks are doing in general. So let us know what you think Six Flags Great America is doing. Will they get a new coaster in 2025? I know Six Flags is planning to spend a lot of money by 2025. Shout out to Salim Basul. Seems like that park is starting to kind of get back on the right path, or not that park, but that chain.
Yeah.
We'll see what's
hopefully.
going on with Six Flags in the next few years here. Great Adventure getting a Boomerang. Six
Yeah.
Flags Great America getting that Discovery. Those are two parks that we've been to recently, so like we're excited about that. They're getting new things where we just were.
I'm very excited about the Six Flags chain. Like, my first one was New Jersey, so I'm excited to get to some of the other ones that are throughout the country, and especially Chicago area one.
Yeah, so the Chicago.
I don't know
like I
the
said,
names of them yet, but I'm learning.
Great America, and she's gonna love it, guys. But like I said, let us know down below. And as always,
Thanks for being a part of this spooky community and for Coaster Ghosting with Ghoster Coasters.
boom.